Hello, I'm Mark Ells, Barnstable Town Manager, and this is my Town Manager update for April 1st. We continue with the preparation of the capital and operating budgets for FY 2026, and we continue to follow our budget action calendar. Submittal of the recommended FY 2026 capital budget to Town Council is planned for a first reading on April 3rd, followed by hearings on April 17th and May 1st if needed. The fiscal year 2026 capital improvement plan is available on the town's website at the link provided in this communication, and printed copies have also been provided to the Town Council. The school committee will meet on Wednesday, April 2nd, to review and approve the FY 2026 school operating budget, and you can find the school proposed budget documents on the school website. And it gives you both the presentation overview and a written document that explains what's proposed for FY 2026. And you can find all of our information certainly on the town website relevant to budgets, approved and proposed. The Town Manager Fiscal Year 2026 proposed fee hearing was conducted on March 18th of 2025. The proposed FY 26 fees are posted on the Town Manager's website, and the proposed fees have been taken under advisement for 30 days. So take a look at those if you'd like to. You can comment sometime around April 17th, though. We'll close that off and take any comment under consideration, and then either approve the fees as proposed, approve for less than, or not approve, and they'll stay what they currently are. These are fees that will go into place July 1st of 2025. On Monday, March 3rd, I provided written and oral testimony at the draft 2025 intended use plan hearing. Now, this is the state funding source for water and wastewater projects. And in my testimony, I expressed concerns regarding this draft IUP. They had changed some of the basic assumptions in this IUP. My communication since that original communication and continued communication is ongoing. DPDP has reached out immediately regarding the draft IUP. We've submitted further information and continued further discussions relevant to the proposed changes to the 2025 IUP, and we asked DEP to proceed very specifically with approval of the IUP without any of these proposed changes in this upcoming year. And then to convene discussions with communities on a long-term strategy to maintain the viability of this critical funding mechanism. Now, we're all aware that across Cape Cod, we're dealing with nutrients in our saltwater bodies, and we're being, from a regulatory standpoint, required to reduce those nutrients. This is the funding source that allows us to proceed with, in our case, our approved comprehensive wastewater management plan. And I'll keep the Town Council and the public advised as we progress on this matter. We anticipate to hear very quickly, usually in April, and by no later. It's unusual if it goes into May without knowing what the final IUP is going to look like for the next upcoming year. On March 3rd, 2025, I sent a letter on behalf of the town of Barnstable to Governor Healy requesting that the next environmental bond bill include $500 million to be used by the Clean Water Trust Fund to expand its borrowing limitations to meet the increasing capital requests of eligible communities utilizing the state revolving fund. The governor's chief of staff got back to me immediately, which was good. They want to engage in further discussion I'm asking that they allow Barnstable and certainly any and all communities to participate in that discussion as they develop the environmental bond bill. Now, by expanding the capacity of the state revolving fund to meet the demands of the Clean Water State revolving fund, um, it will allow us to fund these wastewater projects, basically. And even more important for us on Cape Cod, to be listed in the IUP makes us eligible for up to a 25% principal subsidy from the Cape and Islands Wastewater Trust Fund. So not only, if we're not listed, will we not be able to access low interest loans with maybe a principal subsidy. But then there's also a 25% principal subsidy that's available from another funding source, but it's directly linked to this IUP that comes out. So, we've got multiple irons in the fire on this, and we, fortunately, our governor and our commissioner and deputy commissioner of DEP are in active conversations with us all. More to come. On March 6, 2025, I attended a series of meetings with legislators and administrative staff in Boston regarding the status of the Sagamore and Bourne Bridge projects. The Cape and Islands Bridge Coalition, which I serve on, visited the State House to meet members of the state legislature, people from various secretary offices, to talk through, number one, we met with the chair of the Senate Transportation Committee to talk through the importance of the bridge projects. And I don't know if you read the article recently where there were 3 bridges in the state of Massachusetts that were identified as the absolute priority as far as bridge project go, and 2 of them were Sagamore and Bourne Bridge. So it definitely has their attention, but primarily the funding is going to come from the federal government. What I've done here is I have attached the quarterly presentation and also a Mass Department of Transportation presentation that was done for us that day. I was very encouraged when the former Secretary of Transportation has been appointed the mega projects, of which these 2 are 2 of the mega projects, person for the state of Massachusetts. Our governor has done that. So, Louisa Poiwanski was somebody that I've worked with. I was at DPW at the time as director, and I worked with her on the Route 132 project, which really went very well. And so I'm encouraged to see that a person of her capacity and ability has been brought in to play a critical role on these. A little more positive. Relevant to Sagamore, it sounds like the federal funding is still there, but subject certainly to whatever this administration does relevant to funding. So when the state is ready and the feds are ready to draw down these funds, those funds are there right now. And so we'll just keep an update on this to see how quickly we can do it. The Bourne Bridge does not have funding yet, and both of these projects need to be done. They're probably each $3 billion projects right now, today's dollars. Keep you advised as this progresses. On March 27th of 2025, I was invited and attended the Resilient Mass Summit hosted by our governor, and the mayor of Boston and one of the chancellors from UMass Boston. It was actually at UMass Boston. It was a convening of leaders focused on climate resilience and mitigation, adaptation, and social transformation. I mean, that sounds like a lot, but this is a major issue for the world, and certainly, for us here in coastal United States and New England and Massachusetts. Very interesting summit, people from all over the world, South America, Africa. The last summit was actually at the Vatican in Rome, and we were the second. The next one's going to be in Africa. I forget the exact location. but it was very much worth attending. It brought together a diverse coalition of state officials, mayors, community leaders, and I don't just mean, officials from the United States, from all over the world, researchers, indigenous leaders, philanthropists, entrepreneurs, to engage in discussion about the significant impacts of climate change on our communities and our effort to build resilience. If you don't know, the town of Barnstable is designated by the Commonwealth's Executive Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs as a municipal vulnerability preparedness community. That means we have been doing what we need to plan for and to be able to secure funding. Certainly when it comes along, we've got a very active Cape Cod Commission and local attention to this matter. We plan to continue the work in partnership with our community and beyond as these issues advance. They're not anticipated to go away. And we'll keep the community advised of this important effort. I was asked a question recently relevant to the Holtec release of water from the nuclear power plant, and the fact that now, rather than releasing it, they're evaporating it. So I just figured I'd give a little bit of an update here. The Pilgrim Nuclear Power Plant in Plymouth is closed and is in the process of being decommissioned, and the facility is owned by Holtec Pilgrim LLC and operated by Holtec Decommissioning International LLC. And as part of the decommissioning process in 2023, Holtec sought a modified surface water discharge permit under the Mass Clean Waters Act from the Massachusetts Department of Environmental Protection to allow the discharge of pollutants, the spent fuel pool water, into Cape Cod Bay, which is a protected ocean sanctuary's water body under the state law. In July 2024, Mass DEP Division of Watershed Management issued a final determination denying Holtec the requested permit modification. Holtec then appealed that final decision by requesting an adjudicatory hearing at Mass DEP's Office of Appeals and Dispute Resolution. In the meantime, while Holtec appealed the denial of the permit modification, Holtec continues the ongoing evaporation of radioactive waters at the facility. And the Mass Department of Environmental Protection does not believe a state permit is needed for this evaporation activity. I did speak with APCC. I haven't spoken directly with Plymouth, but it appears that Mass DEP may be correct about this, but we're certainly looking at it carefully. Late last year, the town, through the attorney's office, along with the town of Plymouth and the APCC, successfully intervened in the discharge permit adjudicatory proceedings before Mass DEP. Last Monday, March 24th, the APCC and the town of Plymouth and town of Barnstable jointly filed with Mass DEP their pre-hearing memorandum of law, along with pre-filed testimony and other exhibits to be used in the upcoming hearings with Mass DEP. The hearings in this adjudicatory proceeding before Mass DEP is scheduled for mid-June. So we'll just keep you advised as this progresses. On April 9th, 2025, we'll be participating, or I will be, participating as a panelist in a webinar offered by the Mass Municipal Association covering strategies to help municipal leaders launch and run a Citizens Academy. Citizens Academies are educational programs designed to help residents gain better understanding of the daily operations of local government. The academies can foster greater community involvement, encourage participation on local boards and commissions, and strengthen relationships and understandings between residents and local government. Barnstable's Inside Town of Barnstable Government has held 29 sessions commencing in 2003 and graduating over 1,000 participants. Barnstable is one of the Commonwealth's longest standing and most successful citizen academies. We look forward to sharing our experience with other municipal leaders across the Commonwealth. At last count, there's almost 500 individuals signed up for this webinar. It's kind of, it's very nice that I'm very pleased I get to participate. I was one of the first directors in 2003 and have participated in each of the 29 sessions since. But I have to say, I really have to say thank you to the coordinators that we've had over the years, and specifically to Sue French, for being one of the founding coordinators of this academy. Certainly Meg Loughran and Arthur Cato and Deb Brunel have also assisted, but Sue's been there from start until current, and she's remained involved in every session, and it's an incredibly successful program to engage our citizens in what we do every day. So thank you all. I look forward to the webinar next Wednesday. Staff continues to meet with the MIT Renewable Energy Facility Siting Clinic team. The clinic reported on March 27th that the pilot Zoom drop-in office hours launched successfully on Friday, March 21st, reporting several community members attending. The clinic team is conducting research on the onshore impacts of offshore wind in Barnstable to understand the full spectrum of community perspectives. Now, their office hours are every Friday from 2 to 3, beginning on March 1st. It's a 1-hour Zoom drop-in session broken into 15-minute slots. You can register at the link that I have provided in this communication. The 15-minute time slots for individual community members. It's open to all Barnstable residents that are 18 or older. And the ground rules are basically they listen to all perspectives. All perspectives are welcome and valued. They have conversations, and the conversations will remain in confidentiality. All comments will be completely made anonymous in their final report. This means no statement will be linked back to an individual, and there's no way for readers to identify who said what. They've ensured that the participants identified are fully protected. They focus on the personal experience and concerns, and they're here to listen and understand and not debate with people. The clinical team's views, they view their roles as students to listen and learn, not to advocate for a particular outcome. They approach this work with neutrality and genuine curiosity, and they're not affiliated with the developer or any advocacy group and have no financial or political interest in the project's outcome. Their goal is simply to understand different viewpoints and accurately represent them in their research. That concludes my town manager communication for April 1st. And now Kate Maldonado, Senior Planner for our Planning and Development Department, will provide an update on the local comprehensive plan and some of our other major efforts. Thank you.
Hello, Kate Maldonado, Senior Planner, Planning and Development. I'm here to talk about current programs and projects being developed by our department. With regard to the local comprehensive plan, the town is currently working to update the town's local comprehensive plan, which is a long-term vision and growth policy that will guide Barnstable's future over the next 10 years. A full draft of the local comprehensive plan is now available for review and comment. The draft plan is accessible from the project website, that's barnstablelcp.com, via the document library page. Hard copies of the draft plan are also available at all of the town's libraries, as well as the Barnstable Adult Community Center. The public comment period is now open through Sunday, May 11th. Comments can be submitted online via the project website or dropped off or mailed to our Planning and Development office at 367 Main Street here in Hyannis. The comments will be distributed to the local comprehensive planning committee for their review and consideration. Town staff, together with members of the local comprehensive planning committee, invite the public to attend one or more of the upcoming community meetings. Each meeting will include an overview of the draft local comprehensive plan, followed by an open house. Light refreshments will be provided. The meetings include Tuesday, April 15th at the West Barnstable Community Building, Wednesday, April 30th at 6 p.m. at Liberty Hall, Monday, May 5th at 6 p.m. at the Osterville Library. That meeting will include the opportunity to attend virtually. And then the final community meeting will be held at the Barnstable High School within the Performing Arts Center. Live Portuguese and Spanish interpretation will be available. Additionally, in partnership with Barnstable's Recreation, child care services will be provided for children ages kindergarten through 5th grade, and that'll include pizza as well as arts and craft activities. If you're interested in child care services, please reach out to myself. My email address is caitlin.maldonado@town.barnstable.ma.us to register for childcare. And that final meeting will be held Thursday, May 8th at 6 p.m., again at the Barnstable High School. The town is in the process of updating our housing production plan. A housing production plan establishes a strategic plan for production of affordable and mixed income housing in a community that is based on a comprehensive needs assessment. A draft housing production plan has been published and can be accessed from the town's website via the Planning and Development Department webpage under current projects. The town will be hosting 2 upcoming public meetings to solicit feedback on this plan. The meetings include Monday, April 7th at 6 p.m. here at Barnstable Town Hall within the hearing room, and Thursday, April 10th at 6 p.m. at the Fire District Building in Centerville. Public feedback is encouraged by submitting comments through the town's housing production plan webpage or by emailing Jim Kupfer at james.kupfer@town.barnstable.ma.us, and that public comment period is open through Thursday, May 1st. The Cape Cod Commission, in partnership with the Town of Barnstable, has published the Barnstable Municipal Digital Equity Plan for public review. The Town of Barnstable Municipal Digital Equity Plan assesses the digital divide in Barnstable and identifies opportunities to advance digital equity. The plan considers topics such as availability and affordability of internet service, device access, online safety, and digital skills required for meaningful digital engagement. A copy of the draft plan, as well as the opportunity to submit public comments, is available through Wednesday, April 30th, and there's a link to the website included within the full town manager's report. Lastly, the Town of Barnstable's draft 5-year consolidated plan for the Community Development Block Grant Program, referred to as CDBG, is available for review on the town's website. The plan can be accessed from the town's website via the Planning and Development webpage under Programs. The plan will serve as the planning and strategic document for the town's CDBG program, which supports projects that provide housing and economic opportunities and suitable living for low and moderate income persons. The range of eligible activities may include affordable housing, economic development, public facility improvements, and public services. The public comment period for the draft plan is open through Monday, May 5th.